Because the NIJ shoots what, 1 round?
1 round, takes the vest on, flattens the clay out, flattens the vest out, puts a what they call a fair hit area up, which means they move the armor. They put a template on this. They will only shoot any panel 6 times, never closer than 2 inches to the last round, and never on the same axis. So if it's a straight line across, they'll never hit that twice. Straight line up and down, they'll never hit that. Their 6 hits never hits the same vertical or horizontal axis, never closer than 2 inches to the last round, never closer than 2 inches to the edge, and always in the kind of the meat of the armor. They take it down after every single shot, flatten it out, flatten the clay, never a ripple behind it, make it, you know, the fairest hit on the armor they can. So we're not going to do that today.
On the heels of that, notice we have 1 panel. 1 panel and a whole lot of guns and bullets, right? You're going to see the threshold of this armor. As Ed shoots this, and then I'm going to turn this over to you. And it'll give you a real honest idea of what happens when an officer or a human being gets hit with a round with our armor. The best part of it is we special threat test, which means we put it in our specification, which means it's now backed by all of our warranties and liabilities. Did I give you a card?
Nope, not yet. Everything comes with a soft trauma pack. We'll just use this for 1 round today. Yeah. Darren said we are going to hammer this today. My job is to show you where the edge of the armor is. Okay, it's bullet resistant, not bullet proof. Okay, we're going to start off with your duty round, and you can just put 124 duty, and this will be a 2.
Okay.
Okay. That first column with the number is how many rounds I put on the armor. If I call out a speed, record it, and we'll measure back face too.
Okay.
The NIJ allows a 44 millimeter back face. The only test that's been ever done, ever, in the history of back face was a group of goats during the Vietnam War. That's where they determined 44 millimeters, you can stay in the fight. It has nothing to do with survivability. It has to do with staying in the fight. They layered a bunch of goats with a different layer count of Kevlar. They shot them all from the same distance. They numbered the goats and figured out which ones were immediately mobile after the ballistic engagement. At 24 hours, they killed and autopsied all the goats and measured how deep those back face signatures were, okay? We know for a fact, both on the SAVES program and the military, you are completely survivable at 73 millimeters directly over your heart. No officer in the history of soft armor has been killed or even permanently injured by back face signature. If the armor stops the round, you completely recover. And we'll talk about that some more. So eyes and ears, everybody. 2 for speed, 1 on, 1 off the soft pack. Line's going hot. Line is hot. Line is hot. Speeds 12:13. 12:32. Weapons clear. Soft trauma pack is just there for that. It's just to reduce trauma. Just to reduce trauma. You'll notice we shot right on top of the armor. That's your round. Laying on the face of the armor. On the back, you're going to see a thing called clay abrasion. In the field. This is a witness medium. It doesn't reset. Your body resets, okay? What you're going to see here, where you see the gray clay has literally vaporized and impregnated on my chute cover, that's going to be red. It's going to be your chest, your side, your back, vaporized and impregnated on the inside of your carrier, okay? That's a phenomenal thing. That's what you want to happen. You got kinetic energy coming in. That round is moving at 750 miles an hour. That makes more sense to me than 1,200 foot per second. It's moving at 750 miles an hour. In this distance, we brought it from 750 miles an hour to 0. That energy has to become something. It becomes heat. It goes from kinetic to thermal. It vaporizes what's behind it. On that PowerPoint that you were looking at, you'll see a lot of pictures, and it looks like burns on the guys. It's exactly what it feels like, and that's exactly what it is, and that's what you'll be treated for in a hospital. A burn. Average stay in a hospital, if you just get hit on your armor, 9, 40, 45, 357 SIG, 357 Magnum, 2 hours. Treated and released. 44 Magnum and on up, you're going to be there a little longer. Okay, 12 gauge 1 ounce slug, so you could be there a couple days. Okay, it's going to crack sternums, it's going to collapse some lungs. We got 3 guys hit with 12 gauge 1 ounce slugs in the last 2 years. All of them stayed in the gunfight, did a great job. Okay, So take a good look at that. On the soft pack, who's recording for me? On the soft pack, your back face, 9.13, so BFS, 9.13, and then leave room for a second one off the soft trauma pack. And you get a little piece of carrier that's in there. You know that's the deepest spot. I hit that, I know I'm all the way back. 16.12 millimeters. I'm allowed 44. Now guys, this next run, the line is gonna stay hot between weapons transitions, okay? This is an absolute worst case scenario for assailants, each with a different stolen handgun, each scoring 5 hits. Hopefully you're moving to cover, returning fire, doing all the kind of stuff you're supposed to do. The key for us is the NIJ shoots 1 round, takes it down. I'm gonna put 20 rounds on the armor. Again, my job is to show you where the edge of it is, okay? Eyes and ears. First round will be through the chrono out of each weapon. Table will be hot until I call it cold. Line's going hot.
Hot.
Line is hot. Line is hot. Starting off with a 124 grain. $1,093. Transitioning, staying hot. 180 grain, 180 grain 40. 1,030. Transitioning, staying hot. Going to the 45. 911. 357 SIG, 125 grain.
Look at that sitting on top of it.
1363. 1363.
Sitting on top.
That weapon is clear. Table's cold. That's 20 rounds. That's our. My mannequin weighs 65 pounds. Okay? 65 pounds. It's still in a gunfight. Good news. That's all just loose carrier. Notice down here, all those are still stuck right to the front. Take a good look, guys. Take a good look. This is the last 357 SIG. It's the 20th round of the engagement, so everything else has been pushed back before this lands. 22.80. 22.80.
That one down.
Okay? 22.80 on the last one of that line of 20 rounds. So we've got 22 rounds on this, almost 3 panels worth. And literally, we're shooting the same panel. I'll clean this up. It's the 2 NIJ heavy threat rounds, which will be the 158 grain 357 Magnum and the 240 grain 44 Magnum. 1242. This weapon's clear. Table's still hot. Moving to the 44 Magnum, 240. 1329. This weapon's clear. Table's cold. Carrier on the inside, busted open now. Stuff will start to fall out all day. I'm going to move this out of the way. This is just blowback from that. The 357 Magnum back face. We'll push it through that little bit of clay. 20.37, 20.37.
Still warm.
44 Magnum back face. She's going to start to get a little deeper now. 44 Magnum back face. 32.22, 32.22.
You won't die. You might want to, though.
We are allowed 44 millimeters. The NIJ would never shoot that round closer than 3 inches to the edge. We just shot it about 1.5 inches from the edge on the same vertical axis as 7 other rounds. Something the NIJ would never, ever, ever do. It's a Hornady XTP. It's moving pretty fast for that heavier. It's more than twice as heavy as a 44 Magnum. Okay. At this point, I want you to be able to see what happened here. If I hit it with this, I'm going to destroy that.
Right.
I'm going out here, but what I'm doing is I'm taking away 3 of my axes. There's no long vertical axis above and below this hit, and there's no horizontal axis on this side. All it's got is this one. So I've taken away 3 of my axes. It's a big 11-10, 11-10. Anyone want to take a wild guess on that one?
40.
Oh, let's get strong.
44.
That's some rampage.
36.
Let's get right to the center.
36.
About 47.67. 47.67. I'm gonna flatten it up for the worst round on the table. I mean, they're mini 223 rounds, and they're moving crazy fast. 1980. And the other FNs. Great.
Weird.
Back face is 19.17. 19.17. Back face on the second hit, 18.95. Ron insists that we cut things open and literally leave them behind. So again, $3. It gets sewn on. It lets me see where each of those shots hit. Let you see where each of those shots hit versus a black panel. No use for that. When Hardwire, who became famous because they up-armored all the Humvees. They're out of Pocomoke, Maryland. They had the biggest DoD contract. They knew how to dispel energy. They were the world's biggest user of DSM material, which is what the plates were made of that up-armored all the Humvees. They had the DoD build them 2 3-story tall presses, Thor and Goliath. And they push it 23 million pounds per square inch. When they had this incredible capability, but no need for it with the military, they turned to law enforcement and our infrastructure. They're actually up-armoring all the bridges. But in the meantime, they came to us and said, hey, would you guys like to look at this? And when we flew down and took a look at it, this is what we saw. When they submitted this package to the NIJ requires them having a waterproof carrier on it. DSM material pressed like they do is inert. You can put it at the bottom of the ocean for 5 years, pull it out, it's going to look brand new and shoot brand new. So they submitted it without this cover. It passed every test, but it failed because they didn't have a cover on it. So they went out and sourced the world's cheapest cover and resubmitted it. So, yeah, I think this cover for them maybe costs $8, but it passes the NIJ's cover test. It's not even necessary, but it's on there. Sure, 500. It fell off the front of the vest. Fell off the front of the vest. There you go. Let's open that. Guys, here's the interesting side of the vest, right over here.
Is that the hollow points?
These are the hollow points. I told you they're the worst rounds on the table. Nothing we shot today got through the front subset. Nothing we shot. This is rounds that hit each other and burn through. Mm-hmm. We talked about, who asked me about rounds that hit each other? These 2 rounds hit each other and just burn through. They literally melt what's behind it. These are your FNs. One's captured here, and one is laying loose. There are 6 subsets laying loose on the face of the 3rd subset. That's the FN. The other FN is trapped.
So it made it through 2 of the 6 layers.
Right. And the other was captured in the 2nd layer. There's your 2 FNs.
And then the remaining of the bullets all stopped in the first.
There you go. Yep. That's what you get. That's what you get. And we still have all of that behind it.
How much does that weigh?
0.68. The whole thing. It's the world's lightest, thinnest level 3A armor. It's lighter than almost all level 2 armors. Guys, is there anything that I didn't do to this that you wanted to see?
Kind of in the same
Take
area?
it to failure?
Yeah, well, let's hit the same area. Let's do that. Let's hit the same area. We should be able to do something nasty with 6 in the exact same spot. Guys, I will ask for everybody to clear out from directly behind me because there's going to be some nasty frag coming back. But feel free to get tight on the side so you see exactly what I'm doing directly on top of each round. Eyes and ears. Mine's going hot. Mine is hot. There's the first round. There's the second round. I'm going to step past. If someone wants to come and see whether or not that, just kind of peel it back a little bit. You can see. Just pull the top of that down.
Yep.
No, we're still good.
Yep.
Still good.
Yep. Bullets right
You
there.
can see the rounds melted to each other.
Yep.
Staying hot, staying hot. This will be the 3rd in the exact same spot.
Bullet still. Bullet there. All right. Have not gone through.
Anybody feel anything back there yet?
Nope.
I got one in my nostril. that may start to punch it. What I'm doing is I'm melting, literally melting
Nope,
through
didn't make
the
it
layers.
through yet.
So there's nothing up front to shoot anymore.
Is that 4 or 5?
That's 4 so far.
Okay.
Same spot.
Bullet's still right there, looks like. It's starting a little.
Starting-
Yep. Some fibers, but everything's still right there.
Good. Staying hot. That's 6 rounds. Weapons cleared, table's cold.
Still stopping it.
Still stopped it.
Take it back to the table. Let's see where we're going. See how that's the smoke coming off the front of there?
Yeah.
It's literally catching those fibers on fire and melting them together. Guys, the difference between getting hit off the armor and on is the burn. I will tell you, after I got hit in the 2 that hit my vest, something looked like someone knows how to throw a punch.
Only went through 2 layers.
Moments later, it was no big deal. The
Right,
one that
that's
went
2.
through my hip and melted in was hot as I walked into the hospital. That one sucked because the heat doesn't go away.
It's just one
Nothing
layer right
you
here.
can't fight through.
First layer still?
Nothing you can't fight through. So where we at? We'll make your back face for you too.
I'm good.
6 rounds stacked. Your 124 grain. Back face is at 28.66. You'll get a hold of these guys. We'll take care of your save. If you guys need that PowerPoint for training, I can make sure I get it to a supervisor. All we ask is that it never leaves law enforcement. Those are saves in there. They've asked us that. We ask you that.
Roger that.
So if we do hand it off to you, make sure it doesn't end up on YouTube or social media. It stays in-house. Any questions on what you saw? I will have this shoot report done tonight and in Darren's inbox tomorrow morning.
And then you'll have it shortly thereafter.
All right.
So, gave you out my card, and we're here for you guys. You know, if there's questions that come up afterwards, ask them. Well, I mean, we have the resources, or at least can get us in the direction of getting them answered. So things will surface, will come up, but outside of that, appreciate everybody's time, and we'll be in touch.
We'll clean up the range for you. We'll get all this taken care of and be off here in about 30 minutes.
All right.
So
Thank
if
you.
anybody's got to stay and sign for the range or do anything like that, we'll take care of that for you. I will tell you, I'm not worried about whose armor you're wearing. I know we can stand behind ours. Just make sure you got your armor on. Makes the difference between you being here with us and home with your families and your name being on a wall in Judiciary Square. So I tell everybody, every save's a good save. I'm not even concerned with what you got on. Just make sure you got it on. But for us, I can tell you, 2 out of every 3 saves in existence, we're wearing our gear. We're proud of every one of those. We stand behind them and we take care of them throughout the life of their career. So no other company's ever done that. It's one of the reasons I came on with this company after I became a save. I get introduced to guys like Ron McCarthy, and you guys have been doing it right for a long time. And I kind of had my pick. And once I saw what they did for us and my family and what they've done so many times before, it was an easy choice. So, guys, be safe. Enjoy the hell out of your career. It can end tomorrow. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for everything, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right.